Have you ever noticed that the more you try to protect yourself, the less safe you feel? It's a strange paradox, isn't it? I'm Clara, and for years my job was to see the world as a series of risks. As a risk consultant back in the US, I lived by probabilities and contingency plans. Safety to me was a system you built with high walls, bright lights, and layers of security. It was something you paid for, something you enforced. The streets at night back home were brightly lit, but people walked with their heads down, their eyes averted, clutching their bags. Trust was a luxury we couldn't afford. Then I came to Vietnam, and one Saturday night in Ho Chi Minh City completely shattered my definition of safety. It was on Nguyen Walking Street, a place my colleague Mai insisted I see. People go there not to get anywhere, she'd said, but just to feel that they're alive. I was skeptical. A massive, crowded street with no visible security, no cameras, no strict rules. My professional instincts screamed red alert. Crowd density, high. Pickpocket probability, significant. Response time, unpredictable. When I stepped out of the taxi, the humid air felt heavy. I clutched my handbag, my eyes scanning everything, analyzing every movement like I was in a simulation. But Mai was in a different world entirely. She was completely at ease, handing me a fresh coconut with a straw, smiling like a kid on holiday. "Relax," she said. "Here no one's watching over us, but somehow everyone's watching out for each other." That sentence stopped me in my tracks. In my world, the phrase, "someone will help you," was practically a myth. Nguyen Walking Street wasn't a street. It was a river of light, laughter, and music. Teenagers were strumming guitars, playing songs I didn't know but could feel in my chest. Little kids ran barefoot, chasing balloons, their joy echoing through the crowd. I saw a street vendor laugh as he corrected a tourist who accidentally tried to pay with a bill that was far too large. Everyone was just there, present. No one was glued to their phone, lost in a digital world. They were living in this moment, together. A young woman was filming the scene, and when she turned her camera toward me, she didn't shy away. She just smiled. "You visiting?" she asked. "It's fun here, right?" I was stunned. A stranger's smile, unprompted, uncalculated, just genuinely warm. It hit me that it had been years since someone had smiled at me without a reason. I was surrounded by politeness, yes, but not kindness, courtesy, but not connection. And here, in a city I barely knew, people shared smiles like they were free. Just as my defenses started to melt, it happened. A small boy, maybe 10 years old, ran past and bumped right into me. My bag slipped from my shoulder and hit the pavement with a dull thud. Instantly, my old training kicked in. Contact, possible theft. Step back. Assess. My eyes darted around, searching for an escape route, a security guard, anything. But before I could even react, the boy had already bent down, picked up my bag with both his small hands and held it out to me. "I'm sorry, miss. I didn't mean to," he said, his voice full of genuine regret. His mother rushed over, gently scolding him before turning to me. "Sorry about that," she said, looking embarrassed. "He was just playing." I stood there, speechless. Something stung behind my eyes. No one ran. No one took advantage of the chaos. It was so ordinary, so simple. But in that moment, I realized a profound truth. Back home, a tiny accident like this could have escalated. An argument, a call to security, maybe even a lawsuit. Here it dissolved with a simple, heartfelt apology. I finally exhaled, a breath I didn't realize I was holding. I smiled and gently touched the boy's head. "It's okay," I said. And I meant it. Really. Mai had been watching quietly, and she smiled too. As we continued our walk, each step felt lighter. The coconut ice cream we'd bought was melting, but we didn't care. The students with the guitar were still playing, but now the song was upbeat and a small crowd had gathered, clapping along. Someone started singing, then another voice joined in, harmonizing. And without thinking, I started clapping too. Not to analyze, not to blend in, but just to belong. My bag was swinging freely from my shoulder now. I wasn't clutching it anymore. I didn't need to. I turned to Mai and murmured, almost to myself, "Back home, people lock their doors to feel safe. Here, people open their hearts to feel safe." Mai just laughed. "That's Vietnam for you," she said. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I laughed with her, a real unburdened laugh. We found a spot near a fountain where water jets danced to the music, their lights shifting from blue to gold. All around us were families, couples, and friends, sharing snacks and stories. I watched a little girl twirling with a glowing plastic wand, her father pretending to take pictures of her with his old phone. Nearby, an elderly couple swayed to the music, a private, gentle dance. No one here seemed to fear the dark. Safety wasn't coming from surveillance, it was coming from participation. It wasn't enforced, it was shared. For the first time in my adult life, I felt completely unarmed, not vulnerable, just free. As we walked back, some kids were selling handmade bracelets. I bought a bright red one. It was a little uneven, a little imperfect, but it was warm with human touch. I tied it around my wrist. In my old life, safety was all about numbers and protocols. But that night, I learned something no chart could ever measure. Safety isn't the absence of risk. It's the presence of trust, the sound of shared laughter, the taste of melting ice cream, the warmth of a stranger's apology. Those were my new data points. At the end of the street, Mai asked, "So what do you think? Still scared of crowds?" I smiled, looking at the city lights. "Not anymore," I said. "I think I finally met a crowd that keeps each other safe." The faint sound of a guitar drifted on the breeze. For the first time in years, I walked without my armor on, and the world somehow felt gentle. If you've ever lived with your guard up, constantly expecting the worst, maybe it's time to try something different. Step out one evening, find a place full of life, and just watch. You might just rediscover what it truly means to feel safe. Thanks for watching, and if this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more. See you next time.